When it comes to sports in Lorain, your station to watch is TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this very special sports presentation on WLCS TV 20. I'm Tim Elkhorn, along with my broadcast partner, Chris Coleman. We're from WEOL Radio, and tonight we bring you this game from Elyria, featuring two teams from the city of Lorain. It's the Elyria Holiday Tournament, and the two teams from Lorain, the Lorain Southview Saints, taking on the Clippers from Lorain Clearview High School. Clearview comes in at 0-4 on the year, and certainly their team has been hit hard by a devastating knee injury to their outstanding junior player, Chad Sally. For the Southview Saints, they got off to a great start. They were 3-0 on the year, but since that time, they have lost 3 in a row to slip to 3-3. So, Chris Coleman, this is a big ball game for both of these teams. Certainly, Southview wants to get back on the winning track, and for the Clearview Clippers, they want to come out and right themselves and put themselves in a position where they can get into a strong second half without Chad Sally.
And it's going to be a pretty tough task for both teams. The Clearview Clippers are in a position now without Chad Sally. They have to go out and create their own identity. In the past, this had been Chad Sally's team. Now players like Lewis Thomas and Jarrett Buckosh are going to have to take over. For Southview, they need to play loose. They've lost 3 in a row, and they have to keep away from thinking about the what else is next type thing if they get down early.
Should be an interesting matchup. Again, it's the Elyria Holiday Tournament. It's the first game to tip things off here at the Pioneer Gymnasium. The winner of this ball game will face the winner of the second contest tonight, featuring Elyria and Elyria Catholic. And the loser of this ball game will play in the consolation game against either the Pioneers or the Panthers. But it should be a good one. It's Lorain Clearview against Lorain Southview, the Battle of Lorain tonight. And again, we hope you enjoy it right here on WLCS TV 20. We'll be back with the opening tip following this timeout.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on boats, cars, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 7 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, Port Clinton, and now at 36690 Detroit Road in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
Nearly 750,000 remarkable individuals serving their country. And they all believe they have the best job in the world. Join us, America's Air Force. No one comes close.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the WEOL Colson & Colson Cage matchup doubleheader, as tonight we tip off the Elyria Holiday Classic, the Clearview Clippers taking on the Southview Saints in Game 1, and later on tonight, it's the battle for Elyria, as the Elyria High Pioneers will be taking on the Panthers of Elyria Catholic. But back to Game 1, Clearview at 0-4 to open up the 02-03 season against Southview at 3-3 on the campaign. Before we proceed, let me tell you the State Farm Insurance pregame show is brought to you by your Lorain County State Farm Insurance agents. For low-cost car insurance, call your State Farm Insurance agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Tim Elkhorn with you, and a pleasure to be joined high above courtside here at the Pioneer Gymnasium by our very own Chris Coleman. And Chris, there's nothing like the Elyria Holiday Tournament. I think for teams that are participating in this tournament, it feels like it jumpstarts their season. It kind of gives them a new perspective as far as the campaign is concerned.
Right, and many coaches have talked about that. We'll hear one of the coaches talk about it in Game 2. Elyria Catholic's Bob Walsh really feels that way about his team. But it really is an opportunity to test yourself against a team that you would not regularly see during the regular season. And that's a definite plus for both these teams right now. One team looking to find an identity, another team looking to kind of get the ship righted after a solid start to the season.
Well, of course, Clearview at 0-4 early on in the season suffered a devastating injury to Chad Sally, their junior sensation. And Chad earlier today had surgery on his knee at the Cleveland Clinic. So we wish Chad the very best. And it has thrown a monkey wrench into their season. 0-4, as we mentioned, 0-2 on the road. Southview came out of the blocks quickly. They won 3 in a row under first-year head coach Brian Corey, but since then they have dropped 3 straight to fall to 500 on the year at 3-3. So 2 teams that are in a downward spiral right now. Whoever feels good tonight is the team that's going to win this basketball game because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our Hominick Door keys to the game, and as always, the keys to the game are brought to you by Hominick Door. Since 1955, Hominick Door has been Lorain County's leading LiftMaster dealer. So don't be left out in the cold. Call Hominick Door. Chris, I'll let you start things off with the Clearview Clippers.
Right, for Clearview today, of course, the big news, as we just talked about, Chad Sally having knee surgery today. He is out for the year. For the first time this season, he is not on the bench offering words of encouragement. This has been his basketball team. His teammates cannot think too much about the fact that they do not have Chad Sally there tonight. Again, they have to create their own identity, and that means they have to try to get Jarrett Buckosh more involved. He's only averaging 7 points a game. Southview coach Brian Corey is extremely concerned about this sophomore, so if he can get going, I think the Clippers can have a big night.
And, Chris, my keys to the game as far as Southview is concerned goes back to Chad Sally as well. They can't feel as though they are walking on this floor with an automatic victory under their belt just because number 15 isn't out there tonight for the Clearview Clippers. Southview's key is to stay focused, play their game, whether or not Chad Sally is here tonight, and then worry about tomorrow night. I think if they go out there with the feeling that we've got this one in the bag because the Clippers are without their star player, suddenly it could turn into a real dogfight.
Certainly.
Those are our Hominick Door keys to the game. As always, the keys to the game brought to you by Hominick Door. Since 1955, Lorain County's leading LiftMaster dealer. Well, here we go. We're just about set to get this ball game underway. And, folks, Southview wreaking havoc with us high above courtside already. Their new uniforms are not in yet. So they are still going with their old uniform numbers. Unfortunately, in the program here at Elyria, they've got the new uniform numbers listed. So it's going to take me a moment or two to adjust as to who's wearing what out there for Southview. But before the night is over, we'll get it done. Opening tip controlled by Clearview. They're going right to left on your radio dial. Shot put up from the left wing by Clearview's Montrez Sharp. No good. Rebound Southview. Here come the Saints. Down the middle comes Sean Nixon. And a whistle and a foul from the baseline as Steve Iwanek makes the call. The foul goes on Clearview. It's on Manny Thames. Senior picks up his first. So they got this one started right on time. So we'll review the opening lineups for each club once we get another break in the action. 7.5 minutes to go. First quarter. Southview left to right on your radio dial. Saints with the basketball down on the baseline. With it is Ryan Jackson. Jackson dribbles it back out front. In the middle is Sean Nixon. Nixon run of the circle, unloads the shot. Wild off the backboard. No good offensive rebound, though. Comes off to Ryan Jackson, but he lost it. And out of there with it comes Clearview. And right now, Clearview being coached by Jerry Gilbert, John Sally's assistant coach. John thought he might be a little bit late in getting here tonight because of the fact that Chad was having surgery at the Cleveland Clinic. Out front, three-point bomb put up by the Clippers, no good. Rebound comes off to Southview there at the other end. Nixon left corner, his three off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Basketball still belongs to Southview. All right, for the Saints, Sean Nixon and Vince Velasquez are in the backcourt. Ryan Jackson, John Brown, and Big Leonard Smith comprise the front court. 5 starters for Clearview. Manny Thames and Lewis Thomas are in the backcourt. Marcus Little, Montrez Sharp, and Jarrett Buckosh comprise the front court. No score in the ball game. 6:42 to go. First quarter. Game number 1 of 2 tonight here at the Pioneer Gymnasium, the Elyria Holiday Classic, the 5th annual. EC has won it twice. Elyria has won it twice. Leonard Smith for Southview. Baseline left, throws up the jumper, missed it. Rebound grab for the Clearview Clippers by Lewis Thomas. Gives it to Manny Thames. Thames, long pass down the floor on the right wing to Sharp. Back up top to Thames. Thames at the base of the center circle, off on the left wing to Lewis Thomas. Right wing to Thames. Sets for 3, lets it fly. Skimmed off, no good. Offensive rebound grab by Sharp. Muscled it up and hooked it in. Montrez Sharp with the first 2 points of the ball game. 2 minutes into the contest. And the Clippers lead it, and at the other end, Southview almost turns it over. Ball comes back to Nixon, in the paint to Smith. Turns, shoots, and hits. Big Leonard Smith with his first 2 points of the ball game, and we are deadlocked at 2. Into the forecourt. Comes Lewis Thomas. Thomas in trouble. Throws it. Ball comes off to Sharp. Down the lane. Laid it up and in. Montrez Sharp, couple of field goals for 4. Clearview back on top, 4-2. 5:35 to go opening quarter. Boy, a sparse crowd here at the Pioneer Gym. Let's hope it fills up for game 2 between the Pioneers and the Panthers. At the other end, shot put up off the rim, no good by Gerald Jackson, now in for Southview. Up top for Clearview. Shot put up by Lewis Thomas, way off the mark. Rebound, Montrez Sharp, his right wing 3, no good. Rebound comes off to John Brown for Southview. Brown gives it to Nixon, down the floor to Jackson, drives and scores.
Well, Southview here, Tim, so far is benefiting from the fact that Clearview's taking a lot of three-point shots early on.
And Southview now off the turnover by Clearview, has a shot go off the rim, no good by Sean Nixon. Game is tied at 4. And here comes Brian Joyner in the ball game now for Southview. Sitting down is Leonard Smith. I think we're going to have to send our engineer, Kevin Mayer, down to that scorer's table to get some numbers straightened out for us. Oh, my goodness. They are all messed up. Up here for Southview, Marcus Little unloads the jumper, missed it. Rebound. Ricochets right into the hands of Jared Buckosh. He drops it in the hole, and Clearview back on top, 6-4. Baseline right, Jackson throws up the runner, no good. Rebound, Montrez Sharp for Clearview. Gives it off to Lewis Thomas. Thomas into the forecourt on the right wing. His pass out front deflected at the half-court line. Scramble in the circle. Out of there with it comes Southview. Down the floor, Nixon gets the pass, drives and scores. Sean Nixon with his first 2. And the game is tied at 6. At the other end, Little drives, scores, and got fouled. Marcus Little with his first 2 points of the ball game and an opportunity for a 3-point play. Foul called on John Brown. So they've got John Brown wearing 25. Oh, boy. That's his first. At the free throw line is Marcus Little. See, Brian Corey in his first year as the head coach of the Saints. He'll learn as he goes.
Right.
Forgets to tell the radio announcer, no, we still don't have our new uniforms. Work off the old numbers. Free throw up, no good by Marcus Little. Here comes Southview to the other end. 8-6. Clearview leading by a bucket. Left to the lane, Brown. Drops it on the end line. Baseline jumper put up no good by Ryan Jackson. Rebound, Jared Buckosh for Clearview. Hoists it over his shoulder to Manny Thames. Thames into the forecourt for Clearview. They're up 8-6 with 3:50 to go. Forces it in the lane to Buckosh, who pushed it up and in, and Jarrett got fouled. Jared Buckosh with a chance for a 3-point play.
Nice job there by Buckosh. He took the pass inside about 3 feet into the lane and just turned around. He got grabbed on the arm, still got it in there.
Here comes Danny Rohner in the ball game now for Clearview. He's a senior. Yet to score this year. Rohner checks in for Marcus Little. At the free throw line, Buckosh with a chance for a 3-point play, and he drains the freebie. Jarrett with a 5-point first quarter, and it's an 11-6 Clearview lead. Nixon up top for Southview. Lob cross court on the left wing to Brown. Tried to bounce it down low. Pass went right through the legs of Brian Joyner. Picked up though on the left wing. And Vince Velasquez drains the shot. His first 2 points of the night to make it an 11-8 ball game. Clearview with the basketball. Into the forecourt for the Clippers comes Montrez Sharp. Up top to Manny Thames. Thames at the base of the center circle, changing hands on the dribble. Off on the right wing to Lewis Thomas. Thomas on the right sideline, and what do we got here? Illegal pick against Clearview. Called on Manny Thames.
Yeah, Manny was caught there running into the player that he was set to pick. Shuffled his feet a couple of steps there.
And that's 2 on Manny Thames for Clearview, so that'll bring Jeff Gantz into the ball game for the Clippers. 3:13 to go, first quarter of play, 11-8. Clearview leading by 3. Again, under the guidance of Jerry Gilbert, John Sally with his son Chad. We wish Chad the very, very best after undergoing knee surgery today at the Cleveland Clinic. John Bergfeld performing the surgery. Southview with the basketball. On the right wing, Nixon comes to the baseline under the hoop, and he banged into Buckosh, and they'll call the offensive foul on Sean Nixon. Ball goes back to Clearview. And that's 2 fouls on Sean Nixon, so he will take a seat. And that will bring, according to my sheet, Ryan Jackson back in the ball game. And now we've got some confusion with the officials. Danny Rohner comes walking back to the Clearview bench. He has to remove a piece of jewelry. 3 officials working tonight's ball game. Steve Iwanek along with Jim Moore and Don Berkey. Southview now with pressure in the backcourt. Gantz throws it into Montrez Sharp, right back to Gantz. Gantz stutter steps on the dribble, bouncing in the forecourt to Rohner. Rohner lost the ball at the top of the circle. There's a scramble for it, and we've got a kicked basketball. So the basketball will go back to Southview. Again, Elyria and Elyria Catholic to follow right here on WEOL. And following all that basketball right here on AM 930, we'll bring you out to scoreboards for tonight's After the Buzzer show, presented by Liberty Ford Lincoln Mercury and Liberty Ford Southwest. Southview with the ball, trailing by 3. Up top for the Saints. Now on the end line, John Brown throws up the jumper, missed it off the back of the rim. Rebound comes off to Lewis Thomas for Clearview. Clippers with a 3-point lead, 11-8. Thomas into the forecourt, right down below us. Off on the right wing to Sharp. Montrez Sharp outside the 3-point arc, holding the ball above his head and away from the basketball. We're going to get a pushing foul against Southview. Foul on Gerald Jackson, that's his first. 4th team foul against Southview. 2:16 to go in the quarter. Gantz will throw it in, tries to throw it in the backcourt, and he got it to Lewis Thomas. Thomas tried to step into the forecourt, lost the basketball, regains it at the half-court line, and then Steve Iwanek steps in and says he traveled with it. So the ball will go back to the Saints. They're down 3, 11-8, 2:09 to go here in the first quarter. Hey, we'd like to welcome in our television audience tonight. That's right, Joe Bach from Lorain City Schools has plugged into our audio. So the game will be not only heard but seen in the city of Lorain on WLCS TV 20. We'll tell you when we get an opportunity to do so. Southview with the basketball down below the hoop. Shots go up, no good. Finally, Buckosh grabs it for Clearview, throws it into Montrez Sharp, and we'll get a holding foul on Southview. Foul is called on John Brown. And for John Brown, that's his second. So 2 Saints have a couple of fouls, Brown and Nixon. Clearview now to inbound. Sharp in the backcourt. The Saints with pressure. Sharp throws it in. Ball deflects off 2 or 3 hands. Rolls out of bounds. The officials all look at one another. And Steve Iwanek and Jim Moore are going to have a conversation. They give it to Clearview. 1:45 to go first quarter. Clippers with a 3-point lead and the basketball. Lewis Thomas gets the inbounds pass, glances up at the clock, comes into the forecourt, ball poked away from behind. Sharp grabs it on the near sideline, got double teamed, lost the ball. Out of there with it comes Southview. Down the floor, shot up no good, but a hard foul. As heading to the hoop was Gerald Jackson, and he will shoot 2.
Quick hands being shown here by Southview. They've reached in many times and been able to slap the ball away from these Clearview players. They've done it at least 5 times so far here in the first quarter.
Foul called on Lewis Thomas. That's his first. And for Clearview, that's their 3rd team foul. And at the free throw line, Gerald Jackson to shoot 2, in and out on the first. Gerald Jackson averaging 2 points per ball game. For Clearview, here comes Andy Stanchik in the ball game. A junior, has scored 6 points on the season. Leonard Smith will get back in for Southview. Saints tonight in their old road blue uniforms, white letters and numbers trimmed in red. Clearview in their home gold uniforms, blue letters and numbers trimmed in white. Gerald Jackson, line right, spins the basketball and hits the second free throw. Gerald with his first point of the ball game. Well, we were stuck on 11-8 for a while. It's now an 11-9 ball game. Oh, I think they're going to take, no, they did give him the point. They were going to take that free throw away for a moment. Stanchek bounces it into Gantz. Gantz double team in the backcourt, right back to Stanchek. Stanchek flips it down the floor on the right wing to Sharp. Sharp, lob out front to Jared Buckosh. Right of the lane to Stanchek. Stanchek back out top to Montrez Sharp, left wing to Gantz. Gantz comes left to the lane, steps through a double team, and a whistle and a foul. Boy, the fouls are just piling up for Southview. That's 6 on the Saints, and that is 3 on Sean Nixon. Boy, they put him back in the ball game, and Brian Corey pays the price. He rolled the dice, put Nixon back in there. Sean commits the foul, and we may not see him again until the third quarter.
It could be a while. That's a long time to be without him, too.
Gantz left of his own basket for Clearview, looking. Flips it up to Thomas. Thomas comes right of the lane, into the lane, bangs off Smith, threw the shot up, no good. Rebound grab by Gerald Jackson for the Saints. Gerald tries to bounce it to Jason Rice now in the ball game. He lost the ball. Out of there with it comes Gantz for Clearview. Jeff Gantz into the forecourt, right of the lane to Buckosh. Ball knocked out of his hands by Leonard Smith. Smith heads to the other end, right of the lane, spins in the lane, got away with a travel. Ball deflects off of Stanchek out of bounds. Boy, Leonard Smith doing a little bit of a two-step there right of the lane, and he got away with it. For Clearview, here comes Joe Bandagski in the ball game. He's a senior. Jared Buckosh will sit down with 53 seconds to go in the first quarter. Clippers leading 11-9. Southview with the basketball. On the left wing, Jackson bounce in the corner to Jason Rice. Gives it back to Rice. Rice underneath to Smith. Tried to power it up. Got his shot blocked, but he also got fouled. So Leonard Smith will head to the free throw line. The foul on Clearview called on Bandagski. That's his first. Comes with 44.9 seconds to go in the quarter. It's been a haphazard first period here at the Pioneer Gym. Leonard Smith, line right. First toss up, no good.
Well, two teams that are struggling here in the early going. There's signs of brilliance, but also signs of why they're struggling of late.
Jerry Gilbert filling in for John Sally goes to the bench again. Here's Brandon Ammons in the game for Clearview. He's a senior, yet to score this year.
Well, he's come close to playing everybody so far here just in the first quarter.
Pretty much. Smith's second toss rolls around the rim and in. Leonard Smith with 3. Southview slowly but surely creeping back in this thing, although from the left wing, Gantz quickly goes down the floor and buries a 3 for the Clippers to make it a 14-10 contest. At the other end, from the left wing, shot put up no good. Whistle and a foul on the rebound, and I think Leonard Smith is going to be hit with a personal. Leonard Smith picks up his first. And for Southview, that is 17 fouls.
Going to be a lot of free throws here for the rest of the way here for the Clippers.
So we'll march to the other end, and Joe Bandagski will shoot 1-1 for Clearview. Clippers leading 14-10. Bandagski misses the front end. Rebound grabbed by Rice for Southview. In the right corner for the Saints. Shot put up, no good. Offensive rebound, Leonard Smith. Turns, shoots, no good. Rebound grab for Clearview by Brandon Ammons. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Clippers, in all likelihood, will play for the final shot. They lead it 14-10. Sharp on the right sideline, clock at 7. Drops it in the corner to Bandagski. He dropped the ball, and it went off the leg of Southview's Jason Rice. That'll bring Marcus Little back in the ball game for Clearview. Montrez Sharp will sit down. Clearview has exactly 5 seconds to get a shot off, leading 14-10. Gantz slaps the basketball. Looking up top to Ammons. Back to Gantz, right wing. Gantz with 1 on the clock. The floater from the baseline, no good. And that ends the first quarter. 14-10. The Clippers by 4 at the end of 1 on the Colson & Colson Cage matchup.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Gymnasium. Tim Elkhorn along with my broadcast partner tonight, Chris Coleman, as we bring you the first of 2 WEOL Colson & Colson Cage matchups, Clearview and Southview in game number 1. of the Elyria Holiday Classic. 14-10. Clearview leading by 4 at the end of 1, although to start the second quarter of play, Brian Joyner with a putback basket for the Saints to get them to within 2 at 14-12. And now a turnover by Clearview in the backcourt as Brandon Ammons traveled with the basketball. First 2 points of the ball game for Brian Joyner. And now the Saints with an opportunity to tie or take the lead. Southview with the basketball on the left wing. Coming down the lane, the runner put up no good. Put back up and in. As tying the game is Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson with his first 2, and just like that, we are tied at 14. And Clearview with another turnover. Here comes Southview. Long pass down the floor, breaking free, laying it up and in is Dante McGill, and Jerry Gilbert says, I need a quick timeout. 6 straight points by the Saints to open up the second. They lead it 16-14 on the Colson and Colson cage matchup.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
A 6-point burst by Southview to open up the second quarter, and the Saints have regained the advantage 16-14. Jerry Gilbert spends the first time out for Clearview, having problems with that Saint press. Brandon Ammons in the backcourt. Quickly up ahead to Lewis Thomas. Lob right side of the forecourt to Montrez Sharp. Back in the middle to Thomas. Thomas at the top of the circle. Backs up on the dribble. Thomas out front. Ball poked from behind. Grabbed right down below us by Ammons. Ammons on the left wing. Back up top to Thomas. Off on the left side to Ammons. Fakes the 3. Whips it in the lane to Sharp. Sharp in traffic. Shot off the rim. No good. Rebound grab by Mark Hall Miller for Southview. Saints with the basketball and a 2-point lead. Up top, 3 in the air. Right there. Gerald Jackson now has 4 points in the ball game, and Southview with a 5-point lead at 19-14.
You can feel the Saints getting into a rhythm here.
And Clearview with a turnover. Thomas tried to throw it to Montrez Sharp at the half-court line, threw it into the backcourt. Sharp went back and retrieved it, but an over and back call. And that'll get Manny Thames back in the ball game for Clearview. Sitting down, Lewis Thomas. Coming up at the half, we'll have our Nationwide Insurance Halftime Show, brought to you by the Lorain County Nationwide Insurance Agents. Southview with the basketball, leading by 5. A 9-0 run to open up the second quarter. Inbounds pass deflected by Sharp for Clearview. Montrez with the steal. Sharp will bring it into the forecourt himself. Sharp comes right down the pipe, flips it baseline right to Buckosh. His jumper blocked out of bounds. Terrific play by Mark Hall Miller. Miller, the junior, with the swat for the Saints. Inbounds pass knocked away from Montrez Sharp out of bounds. Nice defensive play for Southview, made by Ryan Jackson.
Southview's really got it together here on the defensive end. They're knocking away inbounds passes. They're poking the ball away from people from behind. They're doing a good job here.
Sharp in the left corner, up top to Thames. Thames at the top of the circle, back on the left wing to Sharp. His long jumper skimmed off the rim, no good. Rebound grab for Southview by Mark Hall Miller. Gives it in the middle to Gerald Jackson. Tried to whip it down low to McGill. McGill got his shot blocked, but a whistle and a foul. And Dante McGill will shoot free throws for the Saints. Foul on Clearview on Marcus Little. For Little, that's his first. Again, Elyria Catholic and Elyria High to follow right here on WEOL. McGill's first free throw, in and out. Before the game, reminiscing with Mark McGuire, athletic director here at Elyria, about that overtime thriller last year between Elyria and Elyria Catholic. Who will ever forget 89-83? The Panthers with the victory. Second free throw up and in by Dante McGill. They must have called a lane violation on that first free throw. So McGill Well, the old NBA rule, 3 to make 2.
3 to make 2, yeah.
And McGill capitalizes on the opportunity. He's got 4 points in the ball game. 21-14, an 11-0 run. And again, Clearview with a turnover. Into the forecourt. Southview off the steal. Ryan Jackson drains the jumper from the free throw line. Ryan Jackson with 4. 23-14. It's a 9-point lead. Southview with pressure in the backcourt. Another steal by the Saints. Left wing jumper put up, no good, as Markel Miller couldn't get the shot to fall. Into the forecourt comes Ammons as he got pressured right down below us on the near sideline. A whistle and a foul against Southview. That'll put Brandon Ammons at the free throw line. Foul on Dante McGill. That's his first. Lewis Thomas wants to get back in for Clearview, but he's coming in for the shooter, Brandon Ammons. For Brandon Ammons, this is his first trip to the free throw line this year. Scoreless on the season. Line left, 1-1. No good on the front end. A rebound grabbed by Southview. Boy, Southview, or Clearview, having a horrendous second quarter. They've been outscored 13-0. Up top on the left wing, Ryan Jackson for Southview. Outside the three-point arc. Throws it in the middle to Gerald Jackson. Right wing long bomb put up and in for 2 by Vince Velasquez. Velasquez now with 4. 25-14. The Clippers can't stop the bleeding. Thames at the base of the center circle. Top side to Ammons. Ammons on the right sideline. Run of the lane to Little. Marcus comes down the pipe. Up. No, but fouled. Marcus Little will shoot 2 free throws to try and get Clearview off the schneid. A 15-0 run by Southview to open up the second quarter. 4:55 to go in the half.
And the Saints have been doing it mostly with defense, setting up things in the half court. They've hardly had to come all the length of the floor here in this quarter.
Marcus Little, 4 of 4 from the line this year. Make it 5 of 5. Good-looking touch right there. Little now with 3 points in the ball game. Lewis Thomas finally gets his opportunity to check back in for Clearview. Ammons will sit down. Brian Corey keeps sending new bodies in there for Southview. Leonard Smith has checked back in. Little short on the second. Offensive rebound, Buckosh turns, hooks it up, no good. Rebound grab for Southview by Markel Miller. 25-15. It's a 10-point lead for the Saints. Left wing Jackson throws it into Smith. Turns, shoots off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound grabbed on the end line by Montrez Sharp, but his foot hit the baseline. Boy, everything going wrong for the Clippers. Ball goes back to the Saints.
That's unofficially the Clippers' 11th turnover here in the first half.
Markel Miller will throw it in left of his own basket for Southview. Off on the left wing to Vince Velasquez. Lob in between the circles to Gerald Jackson. Back on the left wing to Velasquez. Up top to Jackson. Jackson in the circle. Tried to get it left wing to Velasquez. Ball poked out front by Sharp. Retrieved by Jackson. Jackson off on the left wing to Miller. Gives it in the lane to Jackson. Tried to dump it down low to Smith. Smith wasn't anticipating the pass, and it blew right by him out of bounds. 4:20 to go in the half. Clearview down 10 with the basketball. And again, Southview with pressure in the backcourt. Manny Thames off the pass from Lewis Thomas. Ball pushed forward, stolen away by Southview. Into the forecourt come the Saints, driving and scoring. For Southview is Markel Miller. Timeout Clearview. 4:04 to go in the half. 27-15. Saints by a dozen on the Colson and Colson cage matchup.
Each year, Americans die of oral cancer, even though dentists can detect most oral cancers during a routine exam. One of the newest diagnostic tools is an oral brush biopsy. This quick, painless technique lets a dentist take a sample of any suspicious-looking oral lesion. Then a computer analyzes the tissue for abnormal cells and informs the dentist. Early detection can make all the difference. Those most vulnerable to oral cancer are people past 40. Your risk rises sharply if you smoke cigarettes, cigars, or a pipe, or chew tobacco, especially when you combine nicotine use with heavy alcohol intake. So when brushing and flossing, be sure to check your mouth for red or white patches. If you have a mouth sore that won't heal or a lump anywhere in your mouth, see your dentist. For the ADA Dental Minute, I'm Dr. Maria Lopez Howell.
The Clearview Clippers are in a world of trouble right now, down by a dozen. They've been outscored 17-1 here in the second quarter. We're halfway through the period, and another turnover by the Clippers. Thames threw it into the hands of Markall Miller, and then Markall got fouled by Lewis Thomas. Boy, the Clippers just look totally disjointed against that St. pressure. Actually, they called that foul on Montrez Sharp. Montrez with his first. And for Clearview, that is team foul number 6. Southview sitting on 9, so if the Clippers can force some St. fouls, they'll shoot 2 for the rest of the half. And on the dribble out front for Southview, fouled was Gerald Jackson. Committing the personal, Montrez Sharp. 2 quick fouls by Sharp, and that will put Gerald Jackson at the free throw line. Jackson with 4 points in the half. Split a pair of free throws back in the first quarter, and then nailed a 3-point bomb earlier this period. Jackson, line right, spins the basketball, throws the first one up there and hits it. Gerald now with 5. In fact, he leads Southview. Velasquez with 4, Jackson with 4, Dante McGill with 4. Second toss on the way, spun out on him. Offensive rebound, Miller got it, put it up. Nobody got fouled. Boy, how about the effort of Markall Miller tonight?
Yeah, he's been all over the court, especially on the glass tonight, offensive and defensive. There, it was a fine offensive rebound, had great position, and I'll tell you something. Some of these buckets that Southview's had during the course of the game have been all the way down, halfway down the cylinder, and have popped back out.
Markall Miller's first free throw, no good. Markall averaging 7 points per ball game. Second one also no good. Rebound tipped around, out of there with it. Lewis Thomas for Clearview. 28-15. Clippers down 13 points. Left of the lane, Marcus Little drives to the hoop. Got his shot blocked by Miller, but they'll call the foul. A tough call against Markall Miller. For Markall Miller, that's his first foul. Puts Marcus Little at the free throw line to shoot 2. Marcus with 3 points in the ball game.
And that's number 10 on the Saints.
Again at the half, we'll have our Nationwide Insurance halftime show. Recap the scoring, if I can get the numbers straight. Well, you know it's been a tough night when you send your engineer down to the AD's office to get you some whiteout so you can fix the numbers. First one up, no good by Marcus Little.
Clearview here from the line so far, just 2 of 7 in the first half.
Second one up and in. Little with 4. 28-16. 2 free throws is all Clearview can muster here in the quarter, and out front a 3-ball put up and in by Gerald Jackson. He now has 8. 31-16. The Saints with a steal in the backcourt. Jackson had his pass ricochet out to the half-court line. It's grabbed by Leonard Smith. Smith for Southview gives it back to Jackson. Run of the lane. Ball poked out of his hands from behind by Gantz. 31-16. Clippers down by 15 points. 3:05 to go in the half. Left corner, Gantz with the basketball. Left of the lane, a wild shot, no good. Rebound grab for Southview. And out of there with it comes Jackson for the Saints. Off on the left wing, and a traveling call against Vince Velasquez. So the Clippers will get it back. They are having a nightmare of a second quarter here in the Elyria Holiday Tournament. Again, the winner of this one will get the winner of Elyria and Elyria Catholic. The loser will play in the consolation game tomorrow against the loser of the Pioneers and the Panthers. Right down the pipe, strong to the bucket, putting the shot up, no good, Lewis Thomas. Rebound grab by Markall Miller for Southview. Whips it down the floor on the right wing to Gerald Jackson, bounces it in the corner. Back up top to Miller, throws it in the lane to McGill, and a whistle and a foul against Clearview. Steve Iwanek says the foul is on Jared Buckosh, and that's his second. So at the free throw line, Dante McGill. McGill They have him for 5 points on the board, but I think he actually only has 4. We'll double check that at the half. Checking in the ball game now, Brian Joyner for Southview. In the meantime, McGill will shoot 2. That white 55 on the back of his blue uniform. First one up, no good. Rebound grabbed by Little. I guess they called that a 1-and-1. Clearview with the basketball, down 15. Up top for the Clippers, changing hands on the dribble, Lewis Thomas down the left side to Gantz. Gantz double-teamed right in front of the Southview bench. Gantz steps through the double team, left to the lane, down the pipe, high off the glass, banked it in. Strong move by Jeff Gantz. He's got 5, makes it a 31-18 ball game. On the right wing, Miller with the jumper for Southview, no good. Rebound, Jared Buckosh. Outlet pass to Gantz. Gantz right of the lane, in the lane, shot off the glass and in. Jackson tried to draw the charge. Gantz got the hoop. 31-20. Boy, for as bad as this quarter has been for Clearview, they're within 11. Although at the other end, a whistle and a foul as Brian Joyner went up for Southview. Foul on Buckosh, and that's his 3rd. So Jerry Gilbert couldn't get Buckosh out of the game in time. He picks up his 3rd. That'll get Danny Rohner in the contest for Clearview. Although Joyner will have the opportunity to shoot his free throw. First one up and in for Brian Joyner.
Now the Saints will be shooting the double bonus here for the next minute 49 as the Clippers now have pushed out to their 10th team foul.
32-20. Second one up, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Ball belongs to Clearview. Clippers down by 12 with 1:48 to go in the first half. Montrez Sharp in the backcourt. Clearview against pressure, and the ball was kicked by Jason Rice for the Saints. So Montrez Sharp will try it all over again. Hey, don't forget tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Yours truly, along with Cam Doc Brown on the Jack Matthias Saturday morning sports wrap-up show. Wally Minnis vacationing this week. Although he did work last night on the Avon tournament with Rob over at Avon High School.
Can't keep Wally away completely.
Sharp had his pass poked right back in his face by Jason Rice. Montrez will try it a 3rd time. Bounces it in to Lewis Thomas. Thomas just shy of the timeline. Now steps into the forecourt. Lob at the half-court line to Sharp. Montrez Sharp in the center circle. Now dribbles topside right wing. Sharp at the 3-point arc. Pulls up, shoots, and hits. Montrez Sharp with 6. Pretty looking shot. And just like that, it's a 10-point ball game. Just when it appears Clearview is going to get blown out of the gym, they scratch and claw their way back in this thing. Right wing shot put up by Miller, no good. Rebound attempt put up by Rice, no good. Rebound Montrez Sharp. His pass down the floor, stolen by Gerald Jackson. Left to the lane to Miller. Miller went up and down with a basketball, and the travel goes against Marcall Miller. Brian Corey pleading his case to Steve Iwanek. Steve listens politely, as any South Amherstonian would do, and then says, Brian, you need to sit down now. Rohner in the backcourt, off on the right wing to Lewis Thomas. Long 3, around the rim and out. Offensive rebound, Marcus Little, right of the lane, in the lane, put it up, spun off the rim, no good. Rebound grab for Southview by Marcall Miller. Under a minute to go in the first half. Gerald Jackson, bounce on the left wing to Rice. His 3, no good. Offensive rebound, Miller pushed it up, no good. Miller underneath the hoop, had it knocked out of his hands by Gantz. Ball belongs to Southview. Marcall Miller indicating to the Southview bench, I need a rest. And that'll get up Ryan Jackson for Southview. Checking in for Clearview, Andy Stanchek. 32-22, Saints by 10, 44 seconds to go, first half. On the right wing with the basketball for Southview, Ryan Jackson. Jackson, right of the lane to Joyner, pushed it up with the right hand, but he missed the shot. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and it went off Danny Rohner. Chris, I'm not sure when it happened, but the big afros are definitely back in style at the high school basketball level.
Well, sir, it always trickles down. It starts with the pros and works its way down.
Right wing 3 put up no good by Jason Rice for Southview. Rebound comes off to the Clippers. Boy, it's hard to believe they can get to within 8 here with 20 seconds to go in the half. Left wing jumper from Rohner, short. Rebound comes off to Southview. Into the forecourt comes Brian Joyner, and Joyner simply fumbled the ball out of bounds. Give it back to the Clippers with 11.7 to go on the second quarter clock.
See the Clippers here playing for the last shot, Tim. I can tell you, though, if Clearview can get a basket going here, they're going to be in good shape going in with just a single-digit deficit at halftime.
Thomas into the forecourt, to the line, to the lane, bounced to Little, put it up and in with 4 seconds to go. Marcus Little with 6, 32-24. Half-court shot comes after the buzzer. It was good, but Steve Iwanix is new. He may have hit it, but it came after the buzzer. We go to the half, and the Clippers are fighting their way back in this thing. Southview 32, Clearview 24 at the intermission on the WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Gym. Tim Elkhorn along with Chris Coleman. And the Nationwide Insurance Halftime Show is brought to you by the Lorain County Nationwide Insurance Agents. At the half, Southview leading Clearview by a count of 32-24. It's game 1 of the Elyria Holiday Classic. Again, game 2, you'll hear it right here on WEOL, the Elyria Catholic Panthers against the host, Elyria High Pioneers. Two teams battled pretty much nip and tuck through the first quarter of play. Clearview was able to open up a 5-point lead at 11-6. Southview answered with a 4-point run to make it an 11-10 ball game before a 3-point bomb by Clearview gave them a 4-point lead at the end of one at 14-10. But then Southview ripped off 15 straight points to open up the second quarter of play and then made it a 17-1 run and led by as many as 13 at 28-15 before the Clippers came roaring back, cut it down to a 31-18 ball game, and then made it a 31-20 contest. Southview made it 32-20 before 4 straight points by the Clippers closed out the half at 32-24. So Clearview looked as though they were going to get blown out of the gym. They're back in this thing, trailing by 8. Individual scoring numbers for Clearview. Off the bench, Jeff Gantz was 7 points off the Clearview bench. Brandon Ammons was scoreless. Also off the bench, Danny Rohner did not score, and Andy Stanchek did not score. And Joe Bendagski was also scoreless off the Clearview bench. Starting 5, Manny Thames was scoreless in the first half, as was Lewis Thomas. Jared Buckosh had 5. Montrez Sharp and Marcus Little each with 6 for the Clearview total of 24, quarters of 14 and 10. For the Southview Saints, only pretty much everyone has played. Off the bench, Jason Rice was scoreless in the ball game. Mark Hall Miller had 2 points. Brian Joyner with the first half of 3. Dante McGill finished up with 4. Gerald Jackson off the bench. Well, he had a nice first half with 8. Starting 5, Sean Nixon with 2 points before picking up 3 fouls, all in the first quarter. Also with 2 points, John Brown. Leonard Smith had 3. Vince Velasquez with 4, and Ryan Jackson with 4 for the Southview total of 32, quarters of 10 and 22 in the second quarter of play. Saints are up 8, 32-24 on the WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup. We'll have more on the Nationwide Insurance Halftime Show right after this.
Keep your pets safe this winter. Wash your dog's paws to remove harmful salt from walking on the streets and sidewalks. Keep cats indoors. Clean up antifreeze spills. Limit outdoor exercise. Breathing cold air for extended periods can damage your dog's lungs. Don't play summer games in the winter. It can cause a serious case of frostbite. If your pet shows signs of frostbite, keep it warm and take it to your veterinarian for immediate treatment.
Welcome back to the Elyria High School Pioneer Gymnasium. Chris Coleman here with the halftime team totals from this ball game so far between Clearview and Southview. For the Clippers in the first half, 11 of 30 from the field. That includes 1 of 7 from outside the three-point arc, 37% for the Clippers. From the line, just 3 of 8. 21 rebounds, 14 turnovers, which was the big story for the Clippers, especially there in that second quarter. For Southview, they were 12 of 41 from the field, just 29%, but of course there was a lot of quantity as well as quality. 2 of 5 from outside the three-point arc, 6 of 14 from the free throw line. They also had 21 rebounds, but just 9 turnovers in the first half. So let's take a timeout, and we'll return with the start of second half action. It is the Southview Saints leading Clearview by a score of 32-24 on the WEOL Colson & Colson Cage matchup.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on boats, cars, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 7 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, Port Clinton, and now at 36690 Detroit Road in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
And the Nationwide Insurance Halftime Show has been brought to you by the Lorain County Nationwide Insurance Agents. Find your kind of agent. Call a Nationwide Insurance Agent today. 32-24. Southview leading Clearview as we get set to start the third quarter of play. Hey, we hope you're enjoying the game tonight on WEOL and around the country. Who knows, around the world, as tonight's game and every WEOL Colson & Colson Cage matchup can be heard online at LorainCounty.com sports. Hear them live or on demand. For all the action all season, join your neighbors and log on to LorainCounty.com. Clearview will have the basketball as we start the third quarter of play. They're going left to right along your radio dial if you're familiar with the Pioneer Gym. They're heading towards the closed end. Montrez Sharp on the left sideline. Sharp looking. Flips it top of the circle to Little. Little comes left to the lane, and what do we got? Whistle and a foul right off the bat against Southview. Called on Marcall Miller. That's his second foul of the ball game. Clearview with their original starting 5 back on the floor. Manny Thames, Lewis Thomas, Marcus Little, Montrez Sharp, and Jarrett Buckosh. We'll set the Southview starters when we get a break in the action. Well, there it is as Lewis Thomas in the left corner fumbled the ball out of bounds. For Southview, Marcall Miller, along with Sean Nixon, Leonard Smith, also Ryan Jackson, and who's that 5th starter out there? John Brown. Right wing shot put up by Marcall Miller, no good. Rebound ricochets out of bounds right down below us into the St. bench. And the basketball belongs to the Clearview Clippers, although now Steve Iwanek and Don Berkey are going to have a conversation. And to Brian Corey's dismay, it still belongs to the guys in gold. Someday I would love to see a video highlight. We'll have to talk to Joe Bach about that, of all the facial expressions and body contortions that coaches make during the course of a contest. Clearview with the basketball, down by 8. Lewis Thomas, top of the circle, flips it to Manny Thames. Thames with that wild afro outside the three-point arc, off on the right wing to Lewis Thomas. Thomas drops it in the corner to Marcus Little. Little right of the lane, and he traveled with the basketball. Ball goes back to Southview. Again, we welcome our viewers in the city of Lorain on WLCS TV 20. Tonight's game between Southview and Clearview will be seen Monday, December 30th, and Wednesday, January 1st at 3 and 8 on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. Southview with the basketball, although they fumble it away underneath their own hoop. Montrez Sharp comes out of there with it for Clearview, hands it off to Manny Thames, quickly down the floor, and he threw it right by Lewis Thomas out of bounds. Boy, this has been sloppy here in the third quarter. 1 minute and 14 seconds off the clock, and we're right where we were at the half at 32-24 Saints. Again, game 2, Elyria and Elyria Catholic right here on WEOL. Southview with the basketball. Bounce into Leonard Smith, left of the lane. Smith against Buckosh. Flips it on the left side to John Brown. Comes left of the lane. The jumper way off the mark. Rebound out of bounds off the fingertips of Leonard Smith. Whoop. Now we got a change of heart. Down on the end line. Ball goes back to Southview. Inbounds pass on the right wing to Marcall Miller. Up top, Nixon. He'll shoot a 3. Miss it. Offensive rebound. Shot put up no good, but a whistle and a foul. And heading to the charity stripe will be Ryan Jackson for Southview. Foul on Clearview, called on Marcus Little. Jerry Gilbert still on that Clearview bench, guiding the Clippers as head coach John Sally is with his son Chad. Chad earlier today at the Cleveland Clinic undergoing knee surgery. John Bergfeld performing the surgery. First free throw up and in for Ryan Jackson. Ryan now with 5 points in the ball game. 6'2" sophomore. Makes it a 33-24 contest. Second toss on the way, and he rattled it in. Ryan with a 6-point ball game. 34-24. Again, the lead in double digits. Here comes Clearview. Manny Thames races to the forecourt. Left side to Little. Got away with a travel. Missed the layup anyway. Rebound grab for Southview by Marcall Miller. Down the floor to Nixon. Nixon drives, scoops, and scores. Oh, my, that was pretty. Sean Nixon with 4. 36-24. Lead is a dozen for the Saints. 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter, and out front, Montrez Sharp will be called for carrying the basketball. So the Saints will get it back. After the ball game, we'll have our McDonald's postgame show presented by the McDonald's of Lorain County. And then we'll get you ready for game 2, EC and Elyria. Should be a full house here at the Pioneer Gym by the time that one rolls around. Nixon up top, right down the pipe. Reverse with the right hand, put it in. Acrobatic shot by Sean Nixon. He's got 6. And we'll get a whistle and a foul on the inbounds against Southview. A little too aggressive was John Brown. Chris Coleman, this third quarter, starting like the second one did for Southview. They opened up a 15-0 surge in the second quarter. And here in the third quarter, they've started off with the first 6 points of the second half. Inbounds pass to Lewis Thomas for Clearview. 38-24 ball game. By the way, for John Brown, that was his 3rd personal foul. Montrez Sharp on the right wing for the Clippers. Right of the lane to Thames. Got his shot blocked into the support of the basket, which is out of bounds by Gabe Rios. First time tonight we've seen Gabe Rios for Southview, 6'2" junior. Gets in there, and about 6 seconds later picks up his first foul. Lewis Thomas throws it in for Clearview on the right wing to Thames. Tried to throw it back in the corner to Thomas, and he threw it right to Sean Nixon for Southview. Sean into the forecourt, stops in the circle, got his shot blocked, but he got fouled by Montrez Sharp. Montrez now with 3 personal fouls. So Sean Nixon, who was saddled with foul problems in the first half, 2 quick field goals here in the third quarter and an opportunity to add to his 6-point total. Of course, the winner tonight gets either EC or Elyria. And if Southview is able to maintain the advantage, they could be looking at a rematch with Elyria High. Nixon misses the first. Tuesday night, December 17th, Elyria just blew out the Saints here at the Pioneer Gym, 74-51. It was an ugly performance by Southview. Sure, they'd like nothing more to get an opportunity to play Elyria again about 10 days later. Second one up by Sean Nixon right there. He's got 7. 39-24. 7-point run by Southview to open up the second half. Turnover by Clearview to open up, or excuse me, off the inbounds. And Leonard Smith, while he got the hoop, called for the travel. So Clearview fortunate there. Jeff Gantz has checked back in, bounces it in to Lewis Thomas, right back to Gantz. Gantz in the backcourt, shy of the timeline on the right-hand dribble. Gantz now steps into the forecourt, bounce on the left wing to Montrez Sharp. Sharp double-teamed at the 3-point arc. Ball kicked out of bounds by Marcall Miller. 5:01 left in the third. Gantz on the far side, bounces it into Lewis Thomas. Thomas out near the half-court line against Sean Nixon. Thomas down the left side to Gantz. Gantz against Gabe Rios. Gantz at the three-point arc. Gantz out front. Gantz bounce on the right wing to Thomas. Thomas holding the ball above his head, drops it on the right sideline to Marcus Little. Little at the three-point arc, threw it right by Gantz. Ball retrieved by Thomas. His three, in and out. Offensive rebound. Little got his shot blocked. Baseline left. Gantz has it. Back to Little. Little traveled with the basketball. Chris, it seemed as though Clearview tries to do a little too much with the ball once they get it.
Yeah, they try to pass. They pass sometimes a little too much. They're in a hurry, really.
Miller on the right wing into Smith. Back to Miller. Top of the key to Nixon. His three right there. Sean Nixon with 10-8 here in the third quarter. And it's now a 42-24 advantage. Thomas double team in the backcourt. Gives it off to Montrez Sharp. Sharp shy of the timeline. Through the center circle. Into the forecourt. Montrez Sharp hands the ball off to Lewis Thomas. Thomas out front against Sean Nixon. Thomas between his legs on the dribble. Thomas looking. Thomas flips it at the foul line to Gantz. Ball poked out of his hands. Gantz retrieves it on the right wing. Gantz had his pass tipped and stolen by Leonard Smith. Saves it into Rios. Rios down the floor to Nixon. Scooped it up, dropped it in with the right hand. Nixon with a dozen, 10 here in the third. 44-24, timeout Clearview. They're down 20. 3:42 to go in the third on the Colson and Colson cage matchup.
Mom, Dad.
You were miserable parents. I snuck out. You caught me.
I lied. You knew.
I pushed.
And you pushed back.
Invaded my privacy.
My privacy.
I hated it.
I hated you.
Why couldn't you leave me alone?
Just leave me alone.
I thought you were the worst parents in the world.
I thought you were the worst parents in the world.
Thanks.
Chris Coleman, I don't know what it is about the start of the quarters, but boy, Southview in the last two periods, a 15-0 run to open up the second, a 12-0 run to open up the third.
Yeah, they've come out on fire both times, making huge defensive stops on Clearview, and the Clippers just flat out coming out cold in both quarters.
And now on the inbounds off the timeout, Montrez Sharp simply dropped the basketball out of bounds.
Seventh turnover here already in this quarter for the Clippers. They're having a real difficult time so far protecting the basketball.
Ryan Jackson throws it into Gerald Jackson for Southview. Off on the right wing to Mark Hall. Miller back up top to Gerald Jackson. Right side Miller in the corner. Shot put up from the three-point arc by Joyner. No good. Rebound put back up and in by Leonard Smith. Smith now with 5. 46-24. Steal in the backcourt. Shot put up no good by Rios. Ball knocked out of bounds. It went off the leg of Jeff Gantz of Clearview. Well, everything going wrong for the Clippers. That'll get Andy Stanchek back in the game for Clearview. Sitting down, Montrez Sharp. 3:18 to go in the third. Again, after the ball game, EC and Elyria. Following that, after the buzzer. Left wing, a long bomb put up, no good. Offensive rebound by John Brown, got his shot blocked. Brown got it back, put it up and in. Oh, excuse me, Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson now with 8, 6'2 sophomore. Makes it a 48-24 ball game. Southview has doubled the score. Buckosh dumps it into Stanchek. Back on the right wing to Buckosh. His jumper rattled it in. Jared Buckosh was 7. And finally the run ends. A 16-0 run to open up the third. Baseline left, jumper up, rattled in for Mark Hall Miller. He's got 4.
Well, right now, Southview, first of all, has got a basket that I think is about twice the width of the one that Clearview's got, and it seems right now that Southview's just quicker with the hands and quicker in the feet.
And there's another turnover by Clearview. They are piling up here in the third quarter for the Clippers. Right corner, Rios for 3. Air ball, rebound, Stanchek for Clearview, but he lost it out of bounds. Sticking his hand in there was Ryan Jackson for Southview. And Stanchek simply fumbled it away. Brian Corey goes back to his bench. Here's Brian Joyner in the contest, and also checking in for Southview will be John Brown. And Brian Corey says, I want to get Sean Nixon back in there as well. Want to wish good luck to the folks down at Midview tonight as the 3rd annual Bob DeFranco holiday tournament gets underway. In fact, a very, very special occasion tonight at Midview as the number of Anthony Stacy is being retired. First time ever at Midview, they are retiring a jersey number. And Anthony has made it back from Europe to attend the ceremonies. You'll hear Anthony's comments tomorrow morning on the Jack Matthias Saturday Morning Sports Wrap-Up Show. Inbounds pass to a wide-open Dante McGill, who laid it up and in. 52-26. Boy, the Saints just having their way with Clearview. Southview with a 20-2 quarter here in the third. 2:12 to go in the period. Ball knocked out of bounds. Into the forecourt now comes Gantz. Sets for three. Unloads it. Missed it. Long rebound on the right sideline. And Gantz saved it in and deflected it off of Gabe Rios out of bounds. Clearview will get it back. Gantz right in front of that Clipper bench. Throws it in the right corner to Stanchek. Back to Gantz. Gantz lipped the lane to Buckosh. His short jumper rattles in. Jarrett Buckosh with 9. 52-28. Saints with the huge lead. Nixon bounced by the lane to a driving McGill, who laid it in. Dante with 8. Makes it a 54-28 ball game. Clippers with the basketball, not for long. They turn it over. Sean Nixon lost the dribble, scooped up by Rios. Rios at the foul line, whips it down low and fired it right by Dante McGill out of bounds.
Trying to get a little fancy there with the no-look pass. I think Brian Corey's probably telling him, hey, settle down. You've got a big lead. You can still have fun with that big lead without having to cause any turnovers.
So it looks as though Southview's going to end their 3-game losing streak here tonight. Inbounds pass by Gantz, poked out of bounds by the Saints, John Brown. A minute and a half to go in the quarter. It has been all guys in blue. Boy, the Saints have just dominated the period. Right down below us, ball kicked out of bounds by Brian Joyner. 1:27 on the third quarter clock. Again, after the ball game, the McDonald's post-game show. We'll have our Northern Star Award. We'll also have tonight's Student Athlete Awards from both teams, and of course our McDonald's Extra Value Award winner. All during the McDonald's post-game show. Lewis Thomas, left wing, Stanchek unloads the jumper. It's short. Rebound comes off to Gantz. His foul line shot off the glass, no good. Rebound bashed off the backboard. Out of there with it is Joyner for Southview. Throws it to Sean Nixon. Nixon quickly into the forecourt, to the foul line, to the lane with the left hand, no good. The follow by McGill, no good. Rebound tipped around. Jared Buckosh has it for Clearview. Gives it to Thomas. Down the floor to Gantz. Gantz drives to the hole and scores. Gantz now with 9. Makes it a 54-30 ball game. Southview quickly at the other end. Ball knocked out of bounds by Andy Stanchek.
I got to tell you, Tim, Jeff Gantz has really taken over this team so far for Clearview. He's come off the bench in both halves. He's only had 3 points all season in 4 games coming into this game. He's got 9. He's done a real good job for this Clearview team. Just when they've needed a big basket, something to stop Southview's momentum, he's come through.
Tell you what, this is a team in search of a leader right now. And maybe it's time for Jeff Gantz to step up and play that role. He's the quarterback on the football team that went to the playoffs. I mean, there's a young guy that perhaps, I don't think anyone's going to replace Chad Sally, but at least pick up a lot of that slack. Off the inbounds, Rios had his shot go up, no good. Rebound comes off to the Clippers. Manny Thames into the forecourt. 35 seconds to go, third quarter. Thames drops it off to Montrez Sharp. Sharp double team right baseline, throws up the jumper. It's short. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Ball belongs to the Southview Saints. 26 seconds to go in the quarter. Inbounds goes to Sean Nixon. Nixon weaving through traffic. Off on the right wing to Rios. Drops it underneath to Smith. Powered it up and in. Leonard Smith with 7. Makes it a 56-30 ball game. Ammons now in for Clearview. Quickly down the floor to Thames. Left wing to Stanchek. Clock at 6. Stanchek at the three-point arc. Left wing to Montrez Sharp. Clock at 3. Sharp in the corner to Rohner. Rohner pushes it up. No good. And that ends the third quarter. 56-30. A huge quarter for the Saints. They're up 26 as we go to the fourth on the Colson and Colson Cage matchup.
They came from every corner of the country. From small towns
big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few, dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Gym. Tim Elkhorn along with Chris Coleman on the WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup. Early stages of the fourth quarter and a quick foul on Southview as whistled with the personal. Vince Velasquez, only the third team foul against the Saints. We have not had a lot of fouls here in the second half. Just a lot of Saint points. Lewis Thomas way out front, unloads a three, missed it. Long rebound comes off to Southview, down the floor. Marcall Miller drives, didn't get the shot, but the blocking foul is called on Lewis Thomas. Thomas with his second. And as Marcall Miller heads to the free throw line, we'll take a quick 30-second timeout on the Colson and Colson cage matchup.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Marcall Miller hit both free throws for Southview. They lead it 58-30. Clippers with the basketball. Marcus Little had his pass stolen away by Marcall Miller for Southview. Tried to bounce it to Vince Velasquez, and he threw it out of bounds. So Clearview will get it back. 7:15 left on the fourth quarter clock. Clippers are down by a bunch. They'll be playing tomorrow night in the consolation game against either Elyria or Elyria Catholic. Little at the half-court line. Ball taken right out of his hands by Joyner. Gives it to Miller. Drives but missed the shot. Rebound Little for Clearview. Surrounded by blue jerseys. And Little finally clears out and flips the ball to Manny Thames. Thames high-stepping in the backcourt. Off on the left wing to Brandon Ammons. Ammons for Clearview. Flips it on the right side to Sharp. Sharp right of the lane. Ball knocked out of his hands, out of bounds by Leonard Smith. Well, you just haven't seen a lot of cohesiveness with Clearview tonight, Chris.
You know, they seem to be, you're right. I think you said it earlier in the first half, and definitely in the first half, in that second quarter. The word you used was disjointed. And I think that some degree that they're trying to press too much. They're trying too hard to create a new identity to fit into the new offensive system without Chad Sally.
Steal at the half-court line, heading to the other end for Southview and laying it in. Vince Velasquez, he's got 6 to make it a 60-30 ball game. Lewis Thomas for Southview, double team, flips it to Ammons, baseline left to Sharp. Montrez drives, scores, and got fouled. Montrez with 8, he'll look for 9 at the free throw line.
Good strong move to the hole by Montrez there.
Montrez Sharp with an 8-point ball game. The foul on Leonard Smith, that's his second. Don't forget, after the buzzer tonight, Milan Jordan, who will be my broadcast partner tomorrow night right here at Elyria. We'll be joined by Z Zoltai tonight out at Scoreboards Grill and Pub, Route 301 and Union Station in LaGrange. Sharp's free throw on the way. Got it. Montress with 9. Makes it a 60-33 ball game. Southview pushes the ball to the other end. Markel Miller off the feed from Nixon scores. Great feed by Nixon. Markel Miller with an 8-point ball game. 62-33. Southview still pressuring. Clearview with another turnover. Driving and scoring. Vince Velasquez, he has 8. Timeout Clippers. 6:12 to go. 64-33. It's All Saints on the Colson and Colson Cage matchup.
Every time an adult gives up on our kids, every time we surrender to the belief that their future is out of our hands, every time we say, their problems aren't my problem, another child is left behind. I'm General Colin Powell, and I don't believe in giving up. That's why I'm heading America's Promise, a movement that gives adults just like you and me the chance to get involved and help our kids develop the character and competence they need. Reach out, join America's Promise. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you can do something important. Log on to americaspromise.org and find out how you can help in your hometown. Or give us a call. Pull your weight. The future of our kids is riding on it.
Off the timeout by Clearview, Lewis Thomas drains a 3-point bomb from the left wing. Makes it a 64-36 ball game. Southview with a miss at the other end. Thomas pushes it to Thames. Thames lost the ball, but saved it in bounds to Thomas. Steps back, unloads a 3 off the glass, no good. Rebound comes off to Southview's Gerald Jackson. Jackson lost it in the backcourt. Scooped up, though, by Jason Rice. Rice flips it into Vince Velasquez. Back to Jackson, right wing Velasquez. Velasquez down low to McGill. Bang shot good. Dante McGill, a very quiet 10 points tonight for Southview.
He's done a lot of work inside, nothing outside of 5 feet, really. Pulled down a lot of rebounds, especially on the offensive end.
5 minutes to go, 66-36. And as Lewis Thomas got the ball on the left sideline, he stepped out of bounds. Here comes Jeff Gantz back in the game for Clearview. Jeff's given him a good effort tonight. 9 points, as Chris Coleman said earlier. He's provided a bit of a spark to Clearview. Left wing Markel Miller for Southview. Up top to Gerald Jackson. Right wing to Rios. Gives it to McGill. Turnaround shot. Ruled it on the rim and in. Dante with a dozen. In fact, he leads Southview along with Sean Nixon. 68-36. It is all Saints. Thomas left to the lane. Turnaround jumper. Too strong. Rebound grab by Jeff Gantz, though. Gantz baseline right. Brings it out front. Steps in the lane. Scooped it up. No, but he got fouled. Jeff Gantz will shoot 2 while he heads to the charity stripe. We'll take a 30-second timeout.
They won't leave you for someone younger. They won't notice you've gained weight. They won't fire you. They won't talk about you behind your back. All they'll ever do is love you. Find the love of your life. Visit PetFinder at aspca.org.
Jeff Gantz hit both free throws for Clearview. 11 points for Jeff. Quickly down the floor. McGill got ahead of the pack, got the pass, laid it up and in. Dante with a game-high 14, 70-38. Clippers with the ball trailing by 32 points. Down in the near corner, Marcus Little had the ball knocked out of his hands out of bounds by Jason Rice. So it will be Southview in the championship game tomorrow night. Boy, Lewis Thomas from downtown Elyria unloads a three. Missed it. Rebound to Velasquez. Down the floor to Miller. Wide open, and Markel laid it in. Markel with 10. 3 Saints in double figures. 72-38. Under 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Buckosh, right of the lane. Hooked it up with the right hand. No good. Rebound ricochets off the rim. Grabbed by Markel Miller. His pass deflected. Fumbled at the half-court line by Velasquez. Gave it to McGill. No-look pass to Miller. Timeout, Southview. 3:39 to go. Brian Corey says, I want to talk things over. We're back after this on the Colson and Colson Cage matchup.
Sweetheart, smoke outside now. You promised.
Okay, hon.
Sweetheart, smoke outside now.
What kind of man are you?
I'm a father.
My father was a father, and he smoked his brains out in the house.
Nothing's gonna happen to your kids.
I swear it.
Don't swear when you're lying. You know thousands of kids can get sick from their parents' cigarette smoke. And didn't you promise your little angels you'd smoke outside?
Those little devils are just so sweet.
Until you can stop, go out for your kids.
Call 1-800-513-1157.
Brian Corey took the timeout for Southview, wanting to settle the troops down a little bit. Game well in hand for the Saints. 3:10 to go. Baseline right shot put up by McGill, way off the mark. Rebound Manny Thames for Clearview. We approach the 3-minute mark. Southview up 72-38. Thames tried to drop it on the end line to Little. Ball deflected, stolen by Velasquez, and Gantz came all the way back for Clearview and made the steal for the Clippers. Gantz heads to the other end, drives to the bucket, scooped it up and in. Jeff Gantz with 13. A gritty effort tonight by the senior for Clearview. 72-40.
I think the Clippers may have found their leader here for the rest of the season.
And now away from the basketball, a whistle and a foul against Southview. I'll tell you what I like about Jeff Gantz. He's showing some energy and some leadership out there. He's clapping his hands. He's urging his teammates on. They're down 32 points. I mean, it'd be real easy to say, let's just get ready for tomorrow night. Jeff Gantz trying to light a fire under the basketball team. Good for him.
That's a quarterback for you.
That's right. You speak highly of those QBs. That's a good thing, Chris. 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Montrez Sharp flips it at the foul line to Danny Anderson now in the game for Clearview. Throw up an air ball. Saved in bounds, though, by Thames. Flips it left wing to Sharp, who hits the jumper. Montrez Sharp now with 11. Makes it 72-42. 2:08 to go. Again, EC and Elyria. Game number 2 tonight here at the Pioneer Gym. By the way, they are clearing the gym between games. So if you're on your way over here, just hang tight in the automobile and listen to the McDonald's postgame show for Clearview and Southview. Up top, right of the circle, Nixon with the jumper for the Saints, no good. Rebound, Buckosh. He fell down, saved it into Sharp. Sharp tried to bounce it off a Saint. It fell right into the hands of Brian Joyner, who popped it in. It's been that kind of night for the Clippers. 74-42, 1:35 to go. Gantz on the right wing, outside the three-point arc, in the corner to Johnson, back up top to Gantz. Gantz comes right down the lane, in traffic, had his shot blocked, right into the hands of Ryan Jackson for Southview. Outlet to Nixon. Nixon quickly into the forecourt. Left wing, and a whistle and a foul as John Brown got whacked pretty good. Foul called on Johnson. That's his first. That gets Lewis Thomas and Joe Bendagski back in the game for the Clippers. Buckosh and Montrez Sharp will sit down. Only the 6th team foul against Clearview. So Southview will inbound. John Brown slaps the basketball, bounces it into Joyner, who broke free and banked it in over Bendagski. Brian Joyner was 7. 76-42. Thomas up top unloads another long three. Rebound comes off to Sean Nixon. Nixon quickly into the forecourt with a minute to go in the ball game. Nixon under the hoop, flips it to a wide open Brown, who missed the layup. Brown got it back and got fouled as he went up. John Brown will shoot 2 as he heads to the charity stripe. We'll take a 30-second timeout.
As time flows on, there are places we return to again and again. Precious places. Timeless places. Places that with your help can endure forever. I'm Paul Newman. Help the Nature Conservancy save the last great places around the world.
John Brown split the pair for Southview. He has a 3-point ball game. 55 seconds to go, 77-42. Right wing Anderson up top to Thomas. Left wing Thames fakes the 3, left to the lane. The runner too strong off the back of the rim. Rebound comes off to John Brown for Southview. Brown in the backcourt pushes it to Nixon. Nixon had his pass deflected out of bounds by Lewis Thomas. So Southview will up their mark to 4-3 and face either EC or Elyria tomorrow night. We mentioned if it's Elyria, it will be a rematch from a game a little over a week ago. Ball goes into Brian Joyner. He got fouled. If it's EC tomorrow night, it will then be the first of 2 meetings because they're scheduled to meet later this year over at the Panther Gym, a game that we'll have right here on WEOL. Well, Clearview's over the limit, so why Southview isn't shooting free throws? Well, now they put 6 up on the board. I'm sorry, Clearview is at 6.
Right, both teams at 6.
Brown throws it into Nixon in the right corner. Nixon dribbling against Anderson. Nixon to the baseline. Tries to flip it. Right of the lane. Ball comes out front to John Brown. Brown with 25 on the clock. Whips it out front to Rios. Rios top side. Left wing to Nixon. Nixon holding the ball against Manny Thames. 15 seconds to go. I think Southview is going to be content right here just to run out this clock. Nixon gives it at the half-court line to John Brown. Cross-court to Nixon. Clock at 6. Nixon, baseline right to Rios. His jumper too strong. Rebound Thames. Clock at 2, and that'll do it. The final score, Southview 77, Clearview 42. Southview now 4-3 on the year. They will face either Elyria or Elyria Catholic in the championship game. Clearview drops to 0-5 to open up the 02-03 campaign. We'll be back to wrap it all up for you on the McDonald's postgame show following this timeout on the WEOL Colson and Colson Cage Matchup.
Sleep, my love, and peace will send thee all through the night. Guardian angels will attend thee all through the night.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Gym. Tim Elkhorn, Chris Coleman with you. Game 1 of the 2002 Elyria Holiday Tournament is in the book, and it was all Southview as they thoroughly dismantled the Clearview Clippers, the final 77-42. We welcome you to the McDonald's postgame show, and the McDonald's postgame show is presented by the McDonald's of Lorain County. It was a ball game in the first quarter. Southview and Clearview went pretty much nip and tuck the entire first period. In fact, the Clippers led by 5 at one point, 11-6. Southview got back to within 1 at 11-10 before Clearview's Jeff Gantz buried a 3-point bomb to close out the period and give the Clippers a 14-10 lead. But that would be the highlight of the night. Southview came out in the second quarter, ripped off 15 straight points to open up the second period, led by 11 at 25-14. pushed it out to a 15-point lead at 31-16 before Clearview made it a little bit interesting. An 8-1 run by the Clippers closed out the first half. They got back to within 8 at 32-24, but that would be as close as they would get, as the start of the quarter again was devastating for Southview. They opened up the second quarter with that 15-0 run. How about a 16-0 run to open up the third? They led it by 24. They doubled the score at 48-24, and it was pretty much garbage time from about midway through the third quarter on. Clearview just couldn't get it going. The third quarter was horrendous. They were outscored 24-6. Southview led it 56-30 at the quarter and pretty much coasted home 77-42. So the Saints break their 3-game losing streak. They're 4-3 on the season, 2-2 on the road. Clearview trying to right the ship, 0-5 on the campaign, and they are now 0-3 on the road. Before we take a timeout, let us head down courtside, as dropping by to share a few moments with us is Southview head basketball coach. Sorry about that, Brian.
Hey.
Brian Corey, the head coach of the Southview Saints. Coach, what can you say? A devastating performance tonight by your basketball team, especially pressure defense. It just opened up many offensive opportunities for you. Your overall thoughts on the contest?
Well, I mean, I thought we really got after it in the second half. I was a little bit disappointed in the first half. You know, once again, we come out and we don't get after it early, and we allow them to stick around when we should have put them away a little bit earlier, I thought. But I was happy with the second half, and, you know, obviously we're going to have to continue to get better in terms of being able to play offensively at that tempo. You know, we're still throwing the ball around a little bit because the kids are just learning. They've never played at that pace. So, but I'm happy with what happened in the second half tonight.
Coach, I don't know what you told them at the end of the first or at the intermission, but you came out to start that second quarter with a 15-0 run. You opened up the third with a 16-0 run. Boy, that's great when you can come out of the blocks like that and really put a team back on their heels, and that's what you did to open up the second period and the second half.
Oh, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I was really happy with especially how we started the third quarter and how we got after it. I mean, to be honest, in the first half, if Marquell Miller doesn't rebound like he does in the second quarter, we could have been losing going into the third quarter.
And the nice thing was you were able to give everybody an opportunity to play tonight. They all got some quality minutes. Everybody got out there and got involved in the ball game. There wasn't any drop-off when you went to your bench.
Well, I mean, you know, if you noticed, I've been playing 11 guys, which I have 11 guys pretty much the entire season, you know, from day one. You know, I'm a big believer in we have kids that are capable of going out and giving us quality minutes, and I don't worry about who's going in and when they're going in because I know I have guys ready to go in.
Brian, the fact that you came out and were able to apply the pressure defense throughout the ballgame, that's the kind of basketball, that's the style of play you're looking to get for the rest of this campaign and in the tournament time.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, that's the way that I've wanted to play from the first game, but we had to build up to that point. I mean, you know as well as I do, if you come out that first game trying to do those types of things, it can end up being a layup drill, so you have to go at it step by step to get it to that point.
Coach, congratulations on the win. I know you want to settle in and watch the Panthers and the Pioneers, so we'll talk to you again tomorrow night before the championship game. Congratulations on your victory tonight.
Thanks a lot, Tim.
Thanks, Brian. Brian Corey, head basketball coach of the Southview Saints. Again, 77-42. They roll up the Clearview Clippers tonight. Game number 1 of the Elyria Holiday Tournament. We'll take a timeout on the McDonald's post-game show. We'll go over some final scoring numbers, Chris Coleman's stats, awards to hand out, and then we'll get you ready for the Panthers and the Pioneers. That comes your way right after this.
There's this guy, always in my face, shouting at me, just pushes me, but I love him. He's my coach. My coach.
Be a coach. Be a fan. Special Olympics.
Welcome back to the Pioneer Gym and the McDonald's postgame show as part of our Colson and Colson cage matchup. First one was all Southview, 77-42. They lay a heavy lumber on the Clearview Clippers. They will face either Elyria or Elyria Catholic in the championship game tomorrow. Individual scoring numbers quickly for you. For Clearview off the bench, Joe Bendagski did not score. Andrew Stanchek was scoreless, as was Danny Rohner. Brandon Ammons was scoreless. Jeff Gantz off the bench led Clearview with 13 points. Starting 5, Manny Thames did not score in the ball game. Lewis Thomas hit a 3 in the fourth quarter. Marcus Little finished up with 6. Jared Buckosh with 9. Montrez Sharp with 11. Clearview with a total of 42. Quarters of 14, 10, 6, and 12. For Southview off the bench, Jason Rice did not score. Gabe Rios was scoreless in the ball game. Brian Joyner finished up with 7. Gerald Jackson had 8 points in the ball game. Mark Hall Miller with 10 off the bench. Dante McGill with a game-high 14. That came off the bench for Southview. Starting 5, John Brown finished up with 3. Leonard Smith had 7. Ryan Jackson with 8. Vince Velasquez with 8. Sean Nixon with 12. Southview with a total of 77. Quarters of 10. 22 in the second, 24 in the third, 21 in the fourth. 77-42. They whipped the Clearview Clippers to put themselves in the championship game of the Elyria Holiday Tournament. Chris, any final numbers that jump off the stat sheet?
Well, final team numbers here. Some things that really jump off the fact that Southview shot 48% from the field in the second half, 38% from the game, 55% for both teams from the free throw line. I think the real telling thing was Clearview turning it over 31 times. Southview leading on the glass, a 36-34 edge in rebounds in tonight's game. So those are the just the Cliff's notes to the team stats tonight.
All right, some awards to hand out as far as this game is concerned. First of all, since we're in the McDonald's post-game show, let's talk about our McDonald's Extra Value Award, presented by the McDonald's of Lorain County, to the player that added a little extra value, a little extra effort to his team tonight. And you know what, Chris? Even though his team got beat by 35 points tonight, you and I both agree Jeff Gantz of Clearview deserves the McDonald's Extra Value Award tonight.
And a team that was struggling to find a leadership, and he came in off the bench, was his team's leading scorer today, and every time it seemed like Southview started to put a big run together, it was Jeff Gantz that was getting the bucket to stop the momentum.
So congratulations to Jeff Gantz. He is our McDonald's Extra Value Award winner. It's also time to announce tonight's Northern Star, the brightest star on the floor tonight, the Northern Star, brought to you by Northern Savings. Bankers, neighbors, friends, Northern Savings, an equal housing lender. Here's a guy that came off the bench and led all scorers.
Yeah.
How about the play tonight of Dante McGill?
Well, he did it at both ends of the court. He was rebounding offensively and defensively. He was getting some big baskets inside the lane. A lot of layups in this basketball game, especially in the second half, that really helped put Clearview away. He did a nice job. He provided the scoring punch while Sean Nixon was in foul trouble.
Yep, so Dante McGill is tonight's Northern Star. Congratulations to Dante, the 6'4 senior from Southview. And let us not forget our Liberty Student Athlete Awards, brought to you by the Liberty Auto Group. Tonight's Student Athlete Awards brought to you by the Liberty Auto Group, Ohio's fastest growing Ford Auto Group. For the Southview Saints, Brian Corey has nominated Sean Nixon. Sean Nixon, according to Brian Corey, is a great kid, a great student, has a 3-point-plus GPA at Southview, 5'9 senior, not only a leader on the basketball floor, but a leader in the classroom as well. Congratulations to Sean Nixon. He is Southview's Liberty Student Athlete of the Night. And for the Clearview Clippers, John Sally telling me earlier that Marcus Little, senior for the Clippers squad, is terrific on the floor. Marcus Little scored 6 points tonight. He also is a tremendous student in the Clearview classroom. So congratulations to Marcus Little of Clearview and Sean Nixon of Southview. They are our Liberty Auto Group student athletes of the game.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools, TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.